I wish I understood systems better. I mean, I can think of systems. For example, this is a system, but what makes it a system? What about, oh, I know, this is a system as well, but I need to find similarities. This is another one, but they're all so different. I need to be able to look at a system and understand the parts, the people, and the interactions. I know I need this. I'm going to have a go at this thinking routine. So let's get started. We either need a piece of paper or you get a print out of this. You can find it in the comment section on the video, or you could get one from your teacher. So let's have a look at a transport system. Why don't we look at a train transport system? And here we have our passenger going into the train station. So there's the first person we're going to add to our thinking routine, passenger. And how am I going to draw a passenger? I suppose a passenger sits on the train, maybe sits on the platform waiting for the train to arrive. So I'm going to draw somebody sitting on a bench. That's going to be the first person. Now let's see if they see anybody else. Hey, look, they're going to the ticket office. So that's a part. And they're speaking to a person, the person who works in the ticket office, the ticket booth operator, and they're giving them some money, and then they get a ticket. So I've got some more parts and people to add to my thinking routine. So first up, in the part section, I'm going to create a ticket office. And this was where our passenger was visiting, and this is a part of the system. And let's see, what else was there? There was somebody working there in the ticket office. So I'm going to draw a ticket, and it's in people. And they were also selling tickets. So that's a ticket in parts, and the passenger had to give the ticket operator some money. So let's include that as well. So we've got this, but this isn't a system yet because there are no connections. Let's make some connections. So the passenger bought a ticket, and you can just draw a line if you like, or if you're more confident, you can actually write some words to explain those connections. So the ticket booth operator gives a ticket to the passenger. The passenger buys the ticket. The ticket booth operator gives the ticket to the passenger, and the ticket booth operator works in the ticket office. And to get a ticket, you need to swap some money for that ticket. And the passenger gives money to the ticket booth operator, and I think those are all the connections. Once we've got the parts and the people, let's have a look at the system again. So once we get our ticket, we beep, and the gates open, and we can go towards the platform. So let's add that in there. Gates. Is that a part or a person? It's non-living, so it must be a part. So here we've got the gates that we've just gone through, and the gates are connected to the person because the person goes through the gates, and the gates are connected to the ticket because you need the ticket to get through the gates. So let's make those connections as well. Now we've got our passenger going up the escalator onto the platform, and here comes the train. Ooh, so what's on the train? And there's people on the train as well. So there's the person, there's the driver, and there's also a passenger on there. So could we add those to our thinking routine? The train has got many parts, or we could just include the train. And who's that person at the front of the train? The train driver. Let's draw a train driving wheel for that. And let's have our train down here because that was an important part. So I've got driver and train, and there's definitely a connection between those two. And oh, the passenger goes on the train. We saw that there was a passenger, so let's make a connection between the passenger and the train. And who's this? Oh, this is an engineer. This is somebody who fixes things like the train track. And if you don't have space in parts, it's okay to draw more circles or more ovals. So let's add that track, and the engineer who uses a spanner to help fix things, let's make a connection between fixes the track and the train follows the track. So there's another connection, and the driver takes the passenger. There's another connection. Any more connections that we can see? The engineer will also help fix the ticket booth whenever there's problems, and will probably fix the gate as well. Many things that need fixing, lots of connections. And keep on having a look at the parts and the people, and make as many connections as you can. Don't worry if it's a little bit scruffy, just make those connections. Now I've used parts, people, and interactions. I've got it! That's it! It's the connections that make a system, and a system has the same purpose, and all the parts and the people are connected. I understand now. Can you have a look at a different system? Maybe a refuge system, or a different transport system? It's up to you. Now that you've finished your parts, people, and interactions, have a think. What happens if you take a part away? Would it change the system? Would it stay the same? And what happens if you take a person away? And what happens if you take a different person away? Does the same thing happen? So have a think. If you change things in your system, would they break or would they adapt?